that what is different in those pitches when you talk about Indian pitches, when you talk about England pitches?
In England, you have to fight the weather,
Okay.
basically, and green pitches, little soft.
The second one being the tournament director in 2011 World Cup. How was that experience?
Wow, brilliant, brilliant. We started all our work 18 months, 20 months in advance. And there was a huge responsibility on professor as well as my head.
And in 1 over, you score around 18 runs. What was that match? Who was the bowler? And whom were you playing with?
Well, that game was a semi-final of the Wills Trophy. It was Wills Trophy earlier, and Bombay versus Haryana. And Kapil had 1 over, and I think Yograj had 1 over. And Yograj bowled that over, penultimate over, and we got about 18 runs.
Cricket ground and the stories revolving around it are always very mesmerizing, because it's just not those moments that you live inside the ground, but you also live those moments outside the ground. And today, to unfold yet another podcast here at the Ball Meets Bold, we have an interesting person, an interesting cricketer with us. He is Suru Nayak sir. Now, Suru Nayak sir, if I have to talk about him, well, 10 years of more than, I think, a decade of Mumbai cricket that he's played. He's represented India and played against England in his debut match. But before we talk about all that, welcome to Ball Meets Bold. My name is Dipesh Sule.
Yeah, I'm Ramesh Sharma. Welcome to Ball Meets Bold.
Ramesh sir, I'm excited for this episode today. And what do you think about this one? Because I just can't wait now.
Actually, talking about Suru Nayak, it's really a very great all-rounder. He won't accept that. He will say, because he is very modest, he won't like using the word great and all. I've seen his debut match in Manchester, I suppose. It was in England. Very good all-rounder. And I had followed him in Ranji Trophy also quite well. His bowling was quite gracious, his run-up. He was a true athlete in the sense. Beautiful fielder, good. When you see him in the ground, it was very smoothing to the eyes. That way, I felt personally, because of my bias, maybe that he should have played more. But then that's how cricket goes.
Well, let's hear it from him what he's got for us today, because I'm sure that going to be very interesting stories coming to you right in this podcast with Suru Nayak sir, only on The Ball Meets the Bold. Well, play cricket, eat cricket, sleep cricket, and repeat cricket. Where did it all start? Was it from the time when you used to look from that window towards Chembur Gymkhana, and from there cricket started, or was it, as you say, cricket is in my blood? What was the real story?
I mean, cricket wasn't in my blood, but we were five brothers, and we were staying in small houses, and we needed some entertainment after the school was over, so we used to go down and play tennis ball cricket. That's how it started. I don't know how I got hooked into, but there was a club near my house in Chembur Gymkhana, and from my kitchen window I could see three stumps from at one end, and on a Sunday morning. So that's how we all used to say, "Oh, today there is a game, a friendly game at Chembur Gymkhana." So we all used to run at 9:30 over there. At Square Leg there was a tree. I remember it. And on that tree, we used to climb and sit and watch the proceedings. That's how we got hooked.
Well, what age was that roughly when you were talking
Well, I was
about
in
this?
school maybe 12 or 14 years.
But it never started that, today we see a lot of parents, take actually their, kids to the ground, and they try to bring that, interest in any sports, not just cricket, but be it any sport. But was it like that, or it was like just invented that, you love this game? Or probably invention is the wrong word, I would say, but it is something that you suddenly get inclined to a particular thing by just watching it. Was that a scenario, and from there did it started all?
Absolutely. Uh, there was no cricket in my school, Our Lady of Perpetual. There was no cricket. They used to play football and hockey. And there were inter-house matches which was played at Gandhi Maidan, and on a matting wicket. And since we were playing tennis ball cricket, I said, okay, let's go and have a look. And then I got selected in the red maroon house, and I did well on a batting wicket. So that's how I said nothing doing. We'll follow it. There were no coaching systems then, in the schools. So as we grew up, I joined Khalsa College. In Khalsa College, there was no wicket keepers. I was keeping wickets for the tennis ball
How
thing.
was that? Because it was a tough time for you.
Absolutely tough. But older brother Sashi, he said, "Arey, you wicket keep for the tennis ball. Why don't you keep it? Keep here also." So that's how the wicket keeping started at Khalsa College.
But did you enjoy wicket keeping?
Absolutely. First year I did, but afterwards when I joined Dadar Union, there was two good bowlers, V.S. Patil and Urmikan Modi, and they used to swing the ball. And I'll tell you a story. I used to go on the leg side to collect the ball, and the ball used to go outswinger, go through the slips. So that was quite embarrassing for me. They were all good bowlers, but no, I gave up wicket keeping. I gave up wicket keeping, and I started bowling leg spin at Khalsa College. And I did well for Khalsa College.
Well,
as a leg spinner. But basically, I was a batsman who could bowl.
So, if I have to go back a little bit, when you said that you started wicket keeping at Khalsa College, but when you are talking about leather cricket, that time the coaching or the techniques were more of very formal techniques. Like you have to play in the V. If you are a bowler, you have to make sure that your line and length is good, or you have to keep certain techniques that we talk about in bowling or in batting. Who was your first coach?
We just learned on our own. I'll tell you very frankly, Deepesh. There's no coaching. We just joined a very good club, that is Dadar Union. And at Dadar Union, they won everything. And that's how we grew. First 3 years, I didn't play for the club. I was just putting the scoreboard, writing the score sheets. All the stalwarts are playing, and we used to just watch them.
So you were more of a good observer initially, and somewhere down the line, the journey started from there. So when was the first time you got to play for Dadar Union, and how did it all start? Because you just said 3 years, you used to just sit there, observe, do the scoring, and so on and so forth. But when was the first time that your coach or your captain told you that Suru Nayak, sir? I'm calling you sir because I can't call him directly Suru Nayak. But when was the first time he told you that today you're going to play?
I'll tell you one thing. Because I didn't get an opportunity for the other union in the Kanga League, one of my colony mates said, there's one club, Parsi Pioneers. Why don't you come and play there? And I just started playing cricket. So I said, okay, I took permission and I went to play for Parsi Pioneers in the first Kanga League of my life. So I went there. I got so nervous. I'm a left-hander, but I took a guard of right-hander. I was playing against Muscati. I remember this very clearly, distinctly. I took a guard of right hand, and the captain was changing the field. And then I realized, what the hell am I doing? I'm a left-hander, man. So then I took the left-hander's guard. But I got runs in that game.
Well, of course, that's what you were known for.
And Kanga League was a tough cricket for batsmen. It's always a bowler's tournament. And I got 30 odd not out or something like that. And there was full praise on me. That's how it hooked on.
Going back to the same Kangalik match that we are talking about, and obviously there were butterflies, as you rightly said, that being a left-hander, you took a guard of a right-hander. But how tough was playing at that time? Because I've met players, who've literally made the 80s very special with the way they've played cricket, or they've played their clubs, or probably the country as well. But it was not at all easy to go to that test, especially when you have you know if I have to put this in Marathi, that ekapeksha ek hote. So it was not very easy. But as someone who is looking to make a big career, and a decade of cricket that you've played for Mumbai, I think that testimonies to everything that Sir has achieved today. But how difficult or how challenging that time was, especially talking about the facilities. When I say it start right from the shoes, right from the basic
Wow.
t-shirts to track, just take us through, because today we are living in that digital world. We are living in that the grass is greener on the other side kind of a world, where you talk about a cricket match and there you have your first studs, there you have your colorful jersey, there you have your colorful track, and even some of the tennis cricketers I've seen, they actually wear a gloves today before they go for a tennis match. But you know the reason I'm asking you this is because today we also need to understand that cricket is not just what you wear, but the game that you have in you, expressing over there, and in the tough times when these things at your generation was very difficult, or probably you have to earn it. Like I'm sure you must be having stories that how you earned your first shoes, you earned your first T-shirt or your gloves, and so on and so forth. Take us through that, sir.
Well, it wasn't colorful then. It was only whites. Nobody could wear any colored clothing then, in the 70s and 80s. Uh, well, my shift from Khalsa College to Siddharth College did everything. There's a person named as Vasant Prabhu Desai. He changed my entire, career track. Let me tell you that. Prakash Naik and Sudhir Naik, they used to stay close to my house, and we used to all play against each other in tennis ball cricket. So we all used to, play against each other. So one day he told me, which college you are? I said, Khalsa College. "Kya kehte hain Khalsa College la? Come and play at Siddharth. I will take you and meet along Mr. Prabhu Desai. So I went one day, and I met Mr. Prabhu Desai. So he immediately saw one Kanga League game of mine, and he said, "Arey ala घेऊन टाक, आपल्याकडे." So that's how it shifted. You know, in Inter, there was in Siddharth College, in Inter, there was a language called Pali language. I didn't know A or B of that language, and that was an optional subject, and I had to take that in Siddharth College.
What is that, if you can elaborate the
Well,
language?
in inter college, I mean intermediate after 12, So, so either you take German, Pali, or any other language, So I took Pali because Prabhu Desai told me, Pali घे तू, मी तुला पास करून टाकतो त्याच्यामध्ये.
How does it sound? Do you know how to speak Pali?
One first day in the college, he said that the professor came in that orange dress and all, and he wrote his name. I know his name also. Bhikkhu Sivala Bodhi. He wrote that name on the blackboard. And I said, "Oh, Bhikkhu Sivala Bodhi, what sort of a name is this?" In that orange dress, he came like, Yogi Adityanath. And I just attended a couple of lectures. That's it. Because I could not understand a bit of it. That's how the journey started. And Siddharth College was, that very year I played for Siddharth, I got runs. I was the Bombay University captain that year because I did so well. That's how the journey started.
But then, if you have to now, today, sit there, because, you're at a period where you can, just bring those memories to us that we can share on this podcast. Now, if I have to talk to you about, one challenge where you thought that, this is it where I need to now bring in more attention towards only cricket, or because you started more of observing cricket, but there is a stage in your career when you're doing good and people are wanting to play in their team, and so on and so forth. So then the game you are playing, or the performance that you are giving, becomes more of a responsibility, that people are looking at you that अरे ये है तो खेल ही लेगा, but they don't know from the other side that what are you going through at that point in time. So how many hours of practice, how many hours of that continuous thoughts about how do I play my next game used to happen with you?
I mean, quite a lot. Those days we used to just bowl in the nets. As a bowler, we used to just bowl in the net. 6, 7 batsmen. in the nets.
How many balls you used to bowl on that session?
Maybe in hours bowling practice,
300, 400?
Yes, aram se. And then after batting, I used to come and bowl my leg spinners. That's how it started. And the body got used to it. Body got used to it. I played for Bombay, and in the year 77, 76, in fact, that was my first game for against MCC at Indore. I did pretty well. I batted for over 100 minutes against Derek Underwood and Botham and everybody. I didn't get many runs, 20 odd I got, but I batted 100 minutes. That's how uh, the the confidence boosted. Luckily, I got a contract in England in '79 because of Rahul Mankad. Rahul used to go n number of years. So he said, one day he said, "What are you doing here in monsoon month? Let's go to England." So he organized a club for me there. That's how the journey started. Going to England, playing 50, 60 games per annum per season, watching good television, good cricket on television, the BBC, hearing what the commentators used to talk. That's how
How different is the pitches? I mean, when you're talking about the pitches in India and the pitches in England, I'll tell you why. Because a lot of time the English have the habit of when they come down to India and when they lose miserably, they blame the pitches. So I want to know from you that what is different in those pitches when you talk about Indian pitches, when you talk about England pitches.
in England you have to fight the weather
Okay.
basically, and green pitches, little soft. Club matches were on soft wickets, but test matches on proper pitches. Proper pitches. League cricket was fighting against the weather, the condition, the cold breeze coming into your eyes, and the soft wickets. Nothing great bowling. Only one good professional in the other side, but you have to fight the conditions. That was the difference.
It's more of how mentally you are strong to
Yes.
face that particular weather, and
Yes.
that used to happen. But then bowling over there, how was your experience in England?
The league cricket I did excellently well. That's why I could play for 12 years. Nobody calls you every year. If you don't perform, you're out. So if you're done well, if you won some club tournaments or league championship, then he call you. So playing for 12, 13 years wasn't bad.
Well, and then those many hours of practice and those many hours of the training. So how different that training vis-a-vis the training that you got here, that you can tell us?
In England, there was not much training. We used to only practice a couple of days. But 25 overs every match I used to bowl in league cricket. So presumably maybe about 1,000 to 1,200 overs I bowled in 60 matches. If you play for a successful club, you play 50, 60 games. Multiplied by 25 overs. So just imagine how much. And then the club, the evening leagues. 6 o'clock it starts, 10 o'clock it ends. 25 over games. So again, 12 overs you have to bowl.
At that point of time when you were growing up, you had seen your interest as you were used to go to play or probably watch first at Chembur Gymkhana. Then you spoke about Dadar Union. Then you spoke about your journey with Khalsa, and you also spoke about the county cricket experiences that you've had. But one such experience when you're growing up, because that time the mentality was very clear that you grow up, you either study till 10th or you study till 12th, and if you have money you can also do graduation. But at an early age the responsibility of earning used to come in, talking about right from how much pocket money you are getting, because that time there was no thing such as called as pocket money. So how you used to afford the sports clothes, especially the track pants or the t-shirts, if you can tell us something about that.
Well, we could not afford anything. I used to wear my uncle's white trousers.
Really?
Yes, and alter it and wear it, for my cricket matches. So he was a great help to us. All his old white trousers he used to give us, and we used to alter it and use it. All the other Indian games, I use that. All Khalsa College, all Siddharth College games, I use those trousers because there's no trousers. There's no money. We are five brothers, and four of them are technically qualified. And two of
You are
them
the
are.
only cricketer in that.
I'm the only cricketer in the house. Yes, my two brothers are overseas. One is an architect. One is a doctor. Sashi is a chemical engineer. Sudhir is a finance manager, and I'm the only cricketer in the family.
So your education happened on the cricket ground. Is it good to say that?
Absolutely correct. Yes, I haven't done badly. Minus the education.
Well, that's what I mean. Education is not the only criteria. Of course, it's one of the criterias where you have to, but not necessary that the successful people are, the engineers or the graduates or the postgraduates and so on and so forth. Because I really feel that, and something that I've applied to my life, that you have to be winning in life. There's no option for it because when you are born, you go to the school. Slowly you grow up, you go to your college and then go to offices and stuff like that. But there is one thing that is always there with you, which is back your bag behind you. The only difference over there, at when you are small, the weight of books are there,
Absolutely.
and when you grow up, the weight of responsibilities come to you. So there is nothing of that sort that you can't dream big. But when you were dreaming big at that point in time, what were the hurdles that you faced?
I mean, my grandfather used to, when I used to play tennis ball cricket, my grandfather used to say, "Ki, why are you playing on the road? Go and play for Bombay. Play at least 5 games." That is what he used to tell me.
So he was the only
He was the
motivation.
only motivation. And he told me this. That's how, the brain started working. क्या है 5 matches आराम से खेल सकता है. That kind of a thing. And it happened. I don't know how it happened. It happened, but we worked very hard. In the off season, we used to run.
What was your diet that time? Normal. Because today a lot of
what
players,
what-
they are very careful about their diet. But
A simple diet, Indian family, what middle class family?
chapati,
Chapati,
bhaji,
bhaji, bas,
bhakri,
bye.
junka.
What else? Yes. Nothing outstanding as such. Nothing outstanding. We didn't even have shoes. Our spikes were the only our spikes shoes which was you could afford, and that too we had to go to Vadala to buy those our spikes shoes from a cobbler. A cobbler used to make, and we didn't have money. So this is how we started our journey.
You spoke about V.S. Patil sir. Now, if I talk about V.S. Patil sir, it's a different dictionary of cricket that we'll be talking. But how was your time with him, and any memories that you can share with us with V.S. Patil sir?
One memory I told you, as a wicket keeper,
Yeah.
he was a disciplinarian, very strict. The moment we used to watch him, the other end, every day we used to have nets from 3 to 6. And he used to come around 3:15, 3:30. And when you used to see him coming from that corner of Matunga, everybody used to be alert because, he never liked anything, sorry, he never liked anything, indiscipline or the nets being wavered. You should just talk through his eyes. Just talk through his eyes. That was the respect we had for him. That was the respect.
Why were the players so strict that in that era? Because somewhere down the line, I also heard that a lot of players used to get scared of Mr. Sunil Gavaskar sir because he was known to be a very strict player, or probably that that एक वो डर होता है कि अरे इनसे डरो या. So how was Mr. Suru Nayak at that point?
No, dar nahi hai. It wasn't. Sunil was not, that strict. He was well respected for his achievements. He was well respected. We used to be careful what you speak with him because he had already achieved something. Great things on the first tour of West Indies, and we were in awe of him. Whenever he used to talk, all 10 or 15 people used to listen to him. What is he saying? What is he talking about? That was the awe and respect we had for him.
But what teaches more? Is it the experiences outside the ground, or is it more inside the ground? As a
Uh,
cricketer and as a human being.
I think inside the dressing room, I feel whatever we learn is inside the dressing room.
Why is that so?
Because there are stalwarts in the Bombay team, Eknath Solkar, Ashok Mankad, Paddy Shivalkar, Abdul Ismail, Sunil, Dilip Vengsarkar, Sandeep, Paddy, myself, Ramnath Parker. Just see the stalwarts. And they used to, throw some knowledge or information. And that is what was, enlightened us, and that's how we have grown. Ashok Mankad was the epitome.
So how the discussions used to be like before the match or after the match? How intense it used to get?
Nothing during the game. Everybody was quiet, observing the match, what was happening on the field. Everything after the game. Karsan Ghavri was also there. Karsan, after the game. Everything happened after the game. Tomorrow, what is the strategy? What we should have done today? What we can do tomorrow or day after? That is how Bombay teams were planning.
So how used to be that mahol that there are two ways in which the dressing room is. One after winning the game and one after losing the game. So which one was the more tougher?
We hardly lost anything, that time. Except for my first season, we hardly lost anything. There was always a cheerfulness in the team. And Eknath Solkar was the epitome of, Ramnath Parker. They were the pranksters, or Sunil used to lagav chavi from behind. Ashok was a great humorist, I'll tell you. The way he used to crack jokes, Ashok Mankad was amazing. Rahul Mankad, another, great cricketer, lovely cricketer. Superb, it was superb.
Who was the biggest prankster you said?
Sandeep, Ramnath, Parker.
I'm sure when they're hearing this is like कितने और सीक्रेट्स आप बोल रहे हो कितने आप सीक्रेट्स इस पॉडकास्ट पे खोल रहे हो
No, it
हमारा
was fun.
किस्सा
It was fun. It was fun. It was fun. Really, I'll tell you, it was fun.
So does the energy come from there when you have a happy and a smiling dressing room, when you have those pranks that are going on, those lighter moments, how important they are, and is it the core for the energies to come in from there?
I'll tell you, there's an event on a Sunday called a Sunday Club. Sunil introduced this when he played the World 11. When he came back, he introduced this Sunday Club. So when we used to tour outside Bombay, he used to nominate, okay, 22nd is a Sunday. Those days were 4-day games or 5-day games, A final was a
Yeah,
5-day game
yeah.
with a rest day in between. So Sunday, बीच में Sunday आया, तो Sunday Club हो there. And that Sunday Club drew everybody closer, Like, they used to nominate, okay, you are the chairman today. You decide what you want to do. And different costume used to be there, Today you're doing a girl's costume. So we used to go and hunt for a lipstick, for everything, That kind of stuff. It was fun. And I had quite a few photographs of those, And one cricketer used to be a bartender. So he used to do the drinks.
Okay.
People who drank
Yeah,
used
yeah.
to drink, It was fun. 2 hours, 3 hours, fun.
Now we know where the Bombay cricket energy used to come in. It was more of those moments that you lived with each other, because obviously when you're so much of cricket, you're away from your home, you're away from your family. So this becomes like an extended family in your life, or probably the primary family,
Yes.
that you spend so much time with.
True, sir. I just want to ask you played for India in 1982. 92, according to me, between 1980 to 83, when we won the World Cup, that was the changing period of Indian cricket. So what happened? 82, if I am not wrong, correct me if I am wrong. You went to England, India went to England around June, July. That was the period when we visit normally English condition. And you were specially handpicked by Sunil Gavaskar. I am talking from memory, which I have read those times. And you and Gulam Parker, if I am not wrong, both were taken in that team. And there was a little bit of criticism on Gavaskar that he has favored Mumbai players. But I just want to know from your side, because I had seen you closely in close quarters playing, and I always felt that you were very good for in English conditions, because you were not very quick, you were medium pace, and you had both swings.
Okay.
So, at the hindsight, if had you succeeded in 1982, I think you could have been in the World Cup 11.
Absolutely, yes. But when you ask me this question, you see my performances before that tour and during the tour. If you pay a little bit, your research thing, you see how many runs I got in the one dayers, how many wickets I got in the one dayers, how many runs I got for West Zone against MCC, and then you will see that's how Sunil was not the only one. Chandu Sarote saw that innings. There was another selector who saw that innings. So that's how I got picked. And the three one days which I played after that. See the bowling analysis.
Yes, that's why I'm asking you. What happened between that, say, September that, and next year June again, May June we were going to the World Cup, and suddenly I I was bit young, but I was following cricket very. That's why I know a lot of things about your cricket. In 6 months, what happened? That Suru Nayak was out of the picture.
You should ask that question to the West Zone selectors, to the Bombay selectors. All of a sudden I was good for the Indian team, and all of a sudden I was out of the West Zone and the Bombay teams. I don't know the reason, and uh, I lost all confidence, and I just went below par in those that 7, 8 months, 9 months. I mean, I was good. Look at my analysis in my stats.
I know I have read
You
those
know,
analysis.
and all of a sudden you're out of the Mumbai team. I couldn't believe it. So that's how it got dejected. I got dejected a bit. Maybe I didn't do well in Test match cricket. Yes, who does well in England?
But that was a high scoring match which you played. I know I'm still ever. You're not. You're good. As a teenager at that time, I have seen that match, your performance. You're good, not bad. But to have such a difference in 6 months, I thought something somewhere was fishy. Because suddenly, Indian team is packed with all rounders.
Yeah,
Binni,
true,
Madan Lal,
true.
even Ballu came after you,
Yeah,
Balwinder
true.
Singh Sandhu.
Yeah.
And suddenly Sunil Wilson was outside. Suddenly you were not near this thing, and I felt that time I was a teenager, so I could not gauge the reason and all for that.
See, from 82, I didn't play for Bombay till 86. 4 years I didn't play, in spite of doing well in the A division timesheet. 4 years I was not picked. So many players played. Just see their quality and their analysis or their stats. I won't name anybody. 6 years, 4 years I didn't play for Bombay. 87 I played.
Your reserved nature must have gone against you. I thought you were always reserved. You चमचागिरी नहीं करते थे आप.
ऐसा नहीं है, चमचेगिरी से कोई ऐसा सिलेक्ट नहीं होता है ना. ऐसा ऐसा नहीं होता है. See, the people in power, they hold your hand. Okay, if you're good, you're good. If you're not good, 4 years I didn't play, got dejected. Moment I joined Sungrace, I left Netherlands, I joined Sungrace, and the ladder started going up again. And I played for 4 more years for Bombay and won them 2 titles.
Great, great on your part. So how do you cope up with such a disappointment?
That's what I said. 4 years I didn't play, I got dejected. There was no support from anybody. I did everything internally on my own. I worked hard for 4 years. I concentrated on my leg spinners later on and batting. I helped myself. No one helped me. Internally, I mean.
Yeah, that is a dejected period. Dejection always, puts you off. You might think to leave the game and all that, but you still persisted with it, and you
Yes,
came back. I know that 86 to 90 when you were playing, you were doing well, and Mumbai cricket was also doing well with Chandu, Lalu, and all in the side.
correct. Yes, sure.
And
Yes.
you were the coming in at number 7 or 8 and bowling your cutters and
I
leg
got
spin.
100 against Mafatlal. Nobody has got 100 against Mafatlal in the finals. 118 not out at batting at number 8 for Sungrace.
Great.
Mafatlal had a very good side. Just see how many players have got runs against Mafatlal in the Time Shield A division.
Youngsters watching plus, please see how he actually motivated himself after that dejection. It is very big to go to England, play a 3 match series, 3 1 days, and next year, maybe 7 8 months back, immediately you get the World Cup, and you're not nowhere near the mix. If you are in the mix and then you're dropped for the 14, then that's a different issue. He was totally out of the mix, and it was, and he did not do badly. I can watch on that because I've seen that series live, and he was good. As I said in the introduction, that Suru Nayak had a specialty. He was a reserve person, but he was a great athlete. He was a brilliant fielder, great bowler, very good batsman at 6 7 in the number when he used to come. With being a left-hander was an additional advantage for him. Sir, I want to ask you something very different. Local cricket, tennis ball cricket. Tennis ball cricket was during your period was somewhat not considered good by the top people, because I feel that was we still had that English culture in our cricket. So it was. What do you feel?
No, see, people with meager, economics played tennis ball cricket.
Yeah, right.
It was a rich man's cricket, hardball cricket, leather ball cricket was. Nobody could afford it. So tennis ball during our time was excellent. Ramnath Parkar, Ajit Pai, everybody played tennis ball cricket. Everybody played.
I
And
know.
that's how they came up from those ranks.
I know Ramnath Burger for Khatarnak, you for
Yes,
Kamgar Nagar, and
yes,
Arubai for VPRC, Vile Barley Sports Club.
absolutely.
And you used to fight, and even Prakash Naik, they were also there. They were with Ramakant Barkar. And good. I'm proud to say that I have played one match with you, that is tennis match. Last but not the least, I want uh, to know how you managed yourself with stars. Stars, the names you have taken: Ashok Mankad, Kaka, Rahul Mankad, Sunny Gavaskar, Sandeep Patil, Dilip Vengsarkar, even Lalchand Rajput, Chandrakant Pandit. Oh, these were all real stars at one time or the other. And you have paid. Like, see, Karsan Gauri was also a star, but he was not a figure who used to carry stardom together with him. Whereas these people were khadus and all. How did you manage? Because as I know your personality very well. You're a reserve guy, and you were only interested in your business.
ऐसा नहीं है, don't go by my facial expression. I'm a very friendly guy.
That is with us.
I'm a friendly guy. If I know a person well, I'll be friendly to him. In those days, we all used to help each other, all the cricketers. Today, nobody does that. Nobody does that. I remember one one year I didn't get a contract in England, but Suresh Shastri had two club contracts. So he said, "Why don't you? Can I give you one contract?" I said, "Okay." Talk to the club, and he spoke with the club, and the club accepted on his word. That's how we helped each other.
Suresh Shastri, another diggaj in
Yes,
Indian Ranji
So
Trophy.
what I mean to say is, those days we used to help each other.
Okay.
Now it doesn't happen.
Well, talk us about that match that you were playing with Mumbai, and I think it was a Mumbai versus
Gujarat,
Gujarat,
Gujarat.
and Milind Regesar was the captain, and
Sorry.
that 10 wicket haul. How you know how difficult or how challenging it was to bowl, but then I think when you have a 10 wicket haul with you, it's very entertaining by the end of the day.
See, that match was played on a batting wicket at Valsad, and I don't know. There was some steep bounce in it, and I could gather those, put those extra, deliveries in that matting wicket. I've forgotten how I got that 10 wicket haul, but I did well because of the matting pitch. I did very well. And similarly, we were bowled out in 42. That's the lowest total Bombay has ever scored, and that year we didn't qualify for the Ranji Trophy. It was a setback for Bombay, but it was, I did well in my debut game, and I batted well also. I got 15 odd runs for many minutes. I batted.
Well, talk us to that match against Haryana, where I think 3 overs,
28 runs.
28 runs needed, and in 1 over you score around 18 runs. What was that match? Who was the bowler, and whom were you playing with?
Well, that game was a semi-final of the Wills Trophy. It was Wills Trophy earlier, and Bombay versus Haryana, and Kapil had 1 over, and I think Yograj had 1 over. And Yograj bowled that over, penultimate over, and we got about 18 runs. So next over, next 2 overs were just 18 runs to get, 10 runs to get.
But practically that time you had lost wickets because some of the big names were there in the team. I think Mr. Sunil Gavaskar sir was there, Mr. Yajuvendra Singh Bilkha sir was there. I think that match, and
No, Sunny wasn't there. It's a Bombay versus Haryana.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but to be very honest, I mean at that particular situation, because today we see a format which is low, cut down with overs. Today we see a format of T20 games. Today we see a format of 50 overs, which we don't see much, but it's still there as a part of the format. When you're playing such challenging situation, what will be your advice to the young generation? How you need to take that challenge very well and still perform?
Well, don't give your wicket till the end, till the 50th over or the 20th over is bowled. You see Mahendra Singh Dhoni now. He takes it till the end, in the end, and he has got confidence in his ability to do well in the last 12 balls or 18 balls. That is what I tell all the younger players also. Penultimate over, we got about 17, 18 runs. Yograj tried to bounce at me, and I hit 2 fours in that over, and that's how we came closer to the total. And me and Ashok were batting, and there was nobody left behind, and we won in that on that wicket itself. And Ashok was so thrilled to see me, do well.
But till date in your career, be it for domestic cricket or be it for international, what is that best moment that you still cherish and say that, this is the one that I enjoyed the most? Like everybody has their own special one. What was your special moment?
See, my special were 2, 3 things. Once I got 170 not out for Bombay University in the inter-university tournament, that was a special moment. I got a 77 not out against for West Zone against England team at Baroda. Special moment. I got 104 wickets against UP in a quarter-final game at Kanpur. That was a special moment. These are all special moments of
Any
cricketer's career.
life.
Again, Northerns, I got 5 wickets and 65 not out on that England tour. Special moment.
But then when you were, also playing that international games, any such moment you felt that, oh, shouldn't have happened in my career?
Yes, you get disappointed.
Because the coins have both the sides.
Yeah, you get disappointed. I would have done much better had there been some guidance.
Right.
There was no guidance. There was no coach. We learned everything on our own. Going to England, listening to the commentators, observing on the BBC television. Nobody told us, do this way, do that way.
And how niche was the recruitment that time? Because I think, if I am not wrong, um, other than the club matches and other than the Ranji cricket and the international cricket, vis-a-vis that time to today's time, you have a lot of tournaments that are happening. Where the Ranji cricketers also get a chance, and I think the biggest example is the Indian Premier League, or the state level Premier Leagues that are happening. But at that time, when you are living in such a uh, vicinity where, or probably coming from that middle class family, and that you still have to work on that 1% chance. How was that?
I mean, see, we all got jobs because of cricket. You know, let me tell you this, and the all the companies supported us. Even going to England, also, all our salaries were paid by Nirlon, by Sungrace. So that was a boost. Financially, we knew back home there's money in the bank. At least whatever little money was there. I'm not talking about huge amounts. Whatever money was there, it was there in the banks. When I go back home, at least I have some money to buy this, to do this, to do that. Jobs were plenty. Jobs were plenty. In 77, I had two jobs in hand.
Yeah,
You know, in 87, I had two jobs in hand. So jobs were plenty for any cricketer. Not today. Today's atmosphere is different.
completely different.
Completely different.
I think it's today. Is it more of, uh, probably you can say that today's cricket is become more challenging than earlier, or you don't see the difference at all?
I mean, financially, it's easier, I feel. Once you get a contract of IPL, an initial contract, you're paid a lump sum money. So that's soothing, isn't it? That's soothing. And if you play around the year, if you play for Bombay, you get even more money now. Now with the BCCI, increasing the amounts, the MCA increasing the amounts, financially you're settled,
Right.
and that is what you want, isn't it, in life? A settlement. At the back of your mind, you need to have some money in your bank, so that you'll look after the family, your mother, your father, whatever.
Well, I think we've spoken about many such tournaments that you've been a part of, but there is one incident that I wanted to talk about when the 10 over rule came to the club cricket, and earlier it was 50 overs and two bowlers bowling 25 over each, but then I think there was a phase where MCA said that no, it's going to be five bowlers, and tell us about that.
Well, what used to happen was, the other Union was the toughest team in Mumbai's cricket. And V.S. Patil and Urmikan Modi used to bowl 25 overs. Though we had four other good bowlers in the team, but Dadar never wanted to lose any games. You know, so Vasu thought that these two bowlers will let them bowl, let them get 100 runs, 150 runs, we can get it. So there was less opportunities for the other bowlers.
Yeah.
So MCA thought, "Arey, look, yeah, they are winning everything because of these two bowlers. Why don't we have a rule now of 10 overs? So that's more bowlers will get opportunities.
That is where the
That
rule
is
came
where
in.
the rule came and it changed.
So basically, it was to give opportunities to the other bowlers also, and also making them, face those challenges what
Yeah.
these two bowlers used to do, and things like that. But then again, now coming back to a very interesting stint in your life, the post retirement, when you started working with BCCI, and I think that is where the best of the things also happened, and probably in the later stage some things didn't happen the way you wanted, or probably you thought it might be, but everything happens for a reason and everything happens for good. And I think you're one person that we've seen throughout, that you have always taken a yes or a no with grace. You have that unique quality that, whatever comes your way, you've taken that as a smile on your face, and you've just taken it forward. But to start off with, how did that stint started? How did it happen? And tell us a lot about that.
Yes, it all started with I joining CCI as a cricket manager. You know, And that year, 2007, I think the Champions Trophy came to India. The ICC granted Champions Trophy to India. And since all other venues had, different marketing things, CCI didn't have anything.
Yeah, I think that time you were given also in charge of taking care of the CCA and everything. So
Yes. So CCI, when I joined CCI, Raj Singh Dungapur and Mr. Ranjan made me the head of cricket over there. And that's how I started interacting with the ICC. That's how my name grew. And I saw that it was very successful, that tournament. And ICC was praiseworthy on my performance. That's how I got an opportunity to join BCCI. Professor Shetty was there, Niranjan Shah was there. They saw me, they were working so hard. They said, "Isko lena chahiye." That's how, and there was recruitment happening that time. They needed former cricketers to come and join cricket operations,
yeah,
game development. That's how I joined cricket operations.
but then even coaching was a substantial part of your duration that time.
No, that was earlier because Sungrace, everything closed down. So 4 years, I struggled. I really struggled 4 years. So I started doing my level 1, level 2.
Okay.
That's how I joined. I undertook Mumbai's under 15 teams for 4 years, and we won all 4 years. Not because of me, but because of the players.
Yeah, yeah.
Players were good. That's how 4 years were so happy years. When I saw the glint in the youngsters' eyes, a Sarvesh Damle, a Ajinkya Rahane, a Dhaval Parab, that boosted. There's nothing compared to money or wealth.
Right. So when you're talking about these things happening with you, because I for sure know that Professor Shetty sir was there, and he was a very good leader that particular time. So what kind of initiatives were you all as a team were taking care of?
See, the uplift happened during the World Cup 2011. I had 4 years of my interaction with all the boards, Indian boards. I mean associations rather.
Right, right.
So everybody started liking me, my approach, my letter writing, my everything. And that's how I was elevated by professor and the board members to be the tournament head of India. We had three tournament directors. Professor was the tournament head, and we were host tournament directors. Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and India.
I'm asking
So I was
you
part
this
of that.
because I'm asking you is this because that time when you were uh, also the player hunting was going on side by side, and suddenly the trend was changing. Cricket after 2000, I think 4 started to move on a very faster format. When you're talking about fitness, when you're talking about the game, the consistency in which you need to perform, and I think MS Dhoni as a captain, when he came in, he changed a lot of things. So how was BCCI working in coordination with the Indian team, and what were the changes that were happening? Because those kind of players, especially when I say those kind of players, I'm saying fitness level, the kind of fitness level that you have to achieve at that point in time. The trend was completely changing because T20 cricket was taking over. So if you can talk us through about that
T20
particular.
happened after 2007.
Yes.
I'll tell you, the NCA started in 2004, I think. And that's how the evolution started. People from Australia came in, education people came, they taught us, they coached the coaches, they brought in trainers, they brought in physical guys. Everything started with NCA in 2004. So by the time it was 3 years, we had an idea what exactly is required to achieve the most on the cricket field. 2007 was history again, when we won the T20 World Cup.
T20 World Cup, the
Yes.
first T20 World Cup that happened, and then we won.
So NCA started, and this is how it started. And then the IPL started in 2008.
Right.
That's how it all started. And then you had Dhoni, you had the Virat Kohlis who set an example to all the players. You got to be fit, and that's how you have to achieve something. You've got to be fit.
Now, it's an interesting one that I want to ask you, and you can take the players right from 80s to the current time. If I was requesting you to make your playing 11, who would be those 11 players? And I'm saying you have the freedom to take anything, huh? Like right from the 70s or probably time before that as well if you want. So you have the complete liberty to choose your playing 11. What would that playing 11 look like? Today's players also you can take, or you can take from that time also.
But you're talking about T20 game or
Anything. I mean, any players who can fit in any format.
I mean T20 game is a different game. You need a lot of fitness over
Okay, so
there.
let's talk T20.
T20. Oh, it'll take me some time.
That's fine. I'm
Yeah.
waiting now. I'm counting. Chalo, first player.
Yeah. I mean Mahi will be the captain.
Okay, MS Dhoni captain.
MS Dhoni captain. Virat Kohli,
Virat Kohli, the king.
Jadeja,
Excellent fielder.
excellent fielder, bowler, batsman. Ah, KL Rahul,
Okay,
Ramnath Parker.
okay.
Who else?
Now we have MS Dhoni, we have Virat Kohli, we have KL Rahul, we
Jadeja.
have Ramnath Parker, we have Ravindra Jadeja. So 6 more still to go.
Bumrah.
Jasprit Bumrah, boom boom Bumrah. Whom else you want?
Bumrah is there. Then who else? Oh God! You should have given me a list, and I would have prepared.
We have
myself
7.
properly.
We have 7. We want 11. We want 11.
Yes,
It's a challenge. It's nice. It's
Yeah.
working.
I know. Oh,
3 more. 3
Three
more.
more,
No,
more.
4 more. We are on 7. Now 4 more.
Sandeep Patil.
Sandeep Patil.
Sandy can be one of them. Yes. Oh God!
This is the most challenging one we have done in any podcast.
I didn't prepare myself for this. Yes, running around.
So 3 more. 3 more.
3 more.
Give us 3 more names.
Oh God!
This is fun.
Yeah, I know. Which is the current lot? Yeah, man. See, earlier days, I don't think everybody can accept Ramnath. I don't know. Oh God!
We have 3 more in to complete the playing 11. 3 more.
Hey, help me out. Come on from the crowd.
Well, who do you think 3 more can fit? I mean, we are just asking. Couple.
Absolutely.
Kapil,
Absolutely couple.
1983 captain who lifted the
He was-
first trophy.
Yes, absolutely couple. Yes, absolutely couple.
And then 2 more.
2 more.
You still haven't completed the challenge.
Yeah,
We
I
should
know.
have kept a timer on that as well. Come on.
Couple, definitely couple. Yes. Oh God.
This is fun. 2 more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shubman Gill,
No. Yeah, long
Sachin
over.
Tendulkar.
Sachin, yes.
See,
Definitely Sachin.
exactly at the count of 10,
Yes.
he named Sachin. So see the relation between the 10, his jersey number, and the name Sachin that came on the 10th finger,
Wow.
that I was
Wow.
counting. Sachin sir, we love you a lot.
Wow.
The last name, come on.
Sachin is there. Yes. How did I forget Sachin?
Because he was supposed to come on the 10th number. That is a relation of jersey number 10 and Sachin Tendulkar,
Viru.
the great.
Virendra.
Virendra
Sehwag.
Sehwag. So 11 is complete.
Viru.
Oh, this was fun. How did you enjoy
Any
this?
day. Absolutely fine. Little bit,
Challenging things to come out.
few more sweat on my brows.
But now that, again, the T20 World Cup has happened, and I mean, trust me, the 2023 World Cup, the men's World Cup, had an excellent performance of Indian team that we've seen, other than the last match. But I think even if we didn't win that last match, I think the overall performance of Indian team was absolutely brilliant. But T20, what do you think? Who is going to be that one player who is going to stand out all, or
It's
looking
going to-
at the team right now?
It's going to be challenging because the pitches, I don't know what's happening in New York,
Okay.
in America. West Indies also all dull pitches. So,
I think that is what even Rohit Sharma said during the press
oh,
conference,
is it?
where one of the reporters asked him
Hmm.
that, what will be your playing 11, and he said that we have no clue about the US pitches.
Yeah.
So now that you've played, obviously you played in England a lot, because US now has got into cricket, and I think probably this would be the first international match that will be played in US. But looking at the current selection that has happened, looking at the current team that is already gone to play the T20 World Cup, what are your quick thoughts? Like, what do you think?
Let me correct you. In 2015, we organized 3 games. Sachin and Shane won the Cricket All Stars. You can see the list of players over there.
Oh,
So 2015, we played in New York, we played in Houston, and we played in LA. And in New York, the same sort of drop-in pitches were applied, and we did that. We played 3 successful games in the
but
US.
then why did it continued? Because I think US is a brilliant, an amazing place to be, and if you can tell about the weather over there and how the pitches behave.
Weather is excellent. They play during the summer months, so 60s and 65 and 70 is very good weather, cricket playing weather. Pitches were a little bit, they play on those stadiums, which is not a circle, baseball stadiums, But this new stadium which is coming up, which is a proper stadium, you know.
Okay.
Drop-in pitches were not that great
So
that
can
time.
we expect a lot of swing or a lot of bounce, or nothing of that surprise is going to come to us?
Uh, Bounce, I don't know, because in 2015 also we prepared pitches in one area, and then we transported them to New York and to other areas. Uh, it was steady. It wasn't something like Indian pitches. It was okay. So you expect some runs, but not great.
Okay. So if you're talking about a T20 game, what would be the good total be at?
With our team, which is very good, excellent team, I expect 180,
Okay.
200.
So it's another gonna be a run scoring wickets that we are going to have as per Suru sir. But sir, a lot of youngsters are right now watching you, and you have coached so many youngsters. You've mentored a lot of them. Uh, Today, we are in that, probably that race or in that competition that everybody wants to be a cricketer, but the success ratio as well. What would be your advice to those youngsters, that how you have to take a game like that? Because when you are in sports, there are a lot of things that will go with you or probably will go against you. How do you balance both the sides of the coin? Because you've seen both, and that's the reason you would be the best person to tell our youngsters, or probably the youngsters who are watching this podcast, what would be that one key message to them?
See, first of all, get fit. Okay, learn the skills of the game, which is very important.
Yeah.
Okay, train hard, work hard, be disciplined. I mean, if you work hard, obviously the luck will be in your favor all the time. The skills will never leave you. Once you uh, get the skills, how to bowl an outswinger or an in swinger or a leg spin, that won't leave you. You know, so learn those skills, and everything will be in proper uh, place.
Well, I think couple of your inspirations, or probably your idols at that particular time. Probably Mantri sir, or you talk about Vasant Prabhu Desai sir, which you also spoke. How much learning came from them? Because that time you didn't have a proper coach right from the childhood. Or what was the influence of these two in your life?
Well, Madhav Mantri was only discipline. We used to only be scared of our peers. We used to just sit behind and listen to what they were talking, in the front. There was not a word spoken from our side. We used to only listen all the time. Prabhu was a different character. He used to always encourage us. And I'll tell you, there was no honorary secretary like Vasant Prabhu Desai. Let me tell you this. Only cricket was his motto, nothing else. And Mumbai's cricket. That's how he encouraged everybody.
Okay. Any stories that you can talk about?
Well, Prabhu ka, what should I? Once he was a manager of the Bombay team, Bombay University team, and there was a live commentary going on. Some remote place in Rajasthan, Bombay playing. I don't remember the university, and I played a rash shot, in that game, in that particular ball. So he took the mic from the commentators and he's talking on the mic. Hey, Suru, काय करतोय? This passionate he was.
So all focus on the game. Doesn't matter. He's picking up the commentators.
When Siddharth used to play any college team, he never used to come in the tent. He used to stand outside and watch the game with full of sweat on his head. And the moment he used to feel that there is some pressure, he used to write notes, and he used to see, look, if somebody, a friendly guy is coming, hey, give it to the captain, give it to him, give it to him. So that guy used to come and give it to Hemant Waingankar or anyone, and he used to read, and there were notes in that saying that yala tikannaan, yala ikkannaan. That is how he was pressurized. Intercollegiate cricket was so dear to him.
Right.
And he wanted to do well. He wanted to win Siddharth and Bombay.
Okay. Now, one very secret question that I'm going to ask. Not a secret question. Questions can't be secret. But the answer is very secret. How many female fans did Suru Nayak sir had?
I mean, those days were different. Yes, we did have, but didn't have the guts like the current cricketers.
But tell us, I mean, how many proposals you got during your days
Quite
when
a
you
bit,
were single?
quite a bit, yes.
And does your wife know this?
Yeah, she knows.
Well, I think you have been an early witness to a 14-year-old boy who shared a room with you during a match against Baroda at the Motilal Bagh. And today he's known the god of cricket. If you can please tell us.
Well, Sachin already had big scores behind in the school's cricket.
Yeah.
And every year, a year earlier also, people were talking that he should come in the Bombay team and play in the Ranji Trophy. But the selectors delayed his, coming into the side. Fortunately, the next year, he got picked and our game was in Baroda at the Moti Bagh. Baroda had good pace bowlers. So what the think tank thought was, let us not make him play in this game because good bowlers. Next game was against Gujarat in Bombay at Wankhede. We knew the pitch; it was a good track, and Gujarat. I'm not taking anything away from the bowlers, but Gujarat were a little bit, weaker bowling attack than Baroda. So that's how we thought let him play the next game. So when we landed in Baroda, we went to that hotel and, respective, room partners were selected. Chandu, I think, was the captain that team. And so Chandu said, ki Suru is the senior most, so let Sachin be with. So that's how we went to our rooms and, the double beds and,
How was he that at that point in time? Like,
he was nonplussed. He was, in his old world, he didn't speak anything. He was very shy. Very shy. He was in awe. Kya abhi, a first Ranji Trophy game with all, Raju Kulkarni and everybody in the team. Though he was not scared going on the field and batting. In the nets, he batted superbly. Superbly batted in the nets. Which he always does, right from day one.
right.
So in the evenings, first day, when we landed, he used to, he never slept. He rarely slept in the room. He used to always get, little bit, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, sleepless,
Anxious.
anxious. He used to practice it. There was a big mirror there, and with his bat, he used to, do shadow practice, back foot, front foot, these kind of things. I used to tell him, Sachin, झोप आता, 11-12 वाजले, झोप आता. नाही, झोपतो मी. That kind. It's very naive. Very naive he was. And, Kiran was there, Kiran More. He was in the opposite camp. So, 1-2 days prior to the game, he invited us to his house.
Okay.
So, all the seniors went. So, I told Sachin that, आम्ही जाय का देवळात जाऊन येतो. Just pray for the game and we'll come back.
He didn't say, I want to come.
No. Oh, okay. That's how I fooled him. And he narrates that to everybody, even today.
Well, three important, probably, the times that I want to talk about. One is the, one thing that we always, I've heard it, I have not seen it because I've never been that lucky to go till there. But in the Indian dressing room, it is said double it up. And you took that very seriously when you were playing for Mumbai because you actually doubled it up. When I say that, 1,000 runs and 100 wickets, now that's what we call how you double it up.
Yes, correct. Yes, very few people in Bombay have achieved it. And I'm so proud that I have done it. 100 runs and 1,000 runs and 100 wickets.
100 wickets.
There must be.
And a very unique number to get in your life.
4 or 5 players have done it. You take out all the all-rounders, right from Eknath Solkar to everybody, Ajit Pai, everybody. 6 to 7 people only have done it. So I'm happy and proud about it.
The second one being the tournament director in 2011 World Cup. How was that experience?
Wow, brilliant. We started all our work 18 months, 20 months in advance. And there was a huge responsibility on professor as well as my head. Because I was looking after 8 venues in India. Professor was looking after all the entire 3 countries, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and India. Huge responsibility. Few associations were not cooperative at all, many a times. You send emails, no reply for months and didn't know what happened, called them up, abhi bhejta hu, nothing came.
But how many hours of sleep you used to get that time?
We worked 18 hours, I'll tell you.
Every day?
Every day. Closer to the date, first game, yes. 20 days, 22 days on the trot we worked. Jet airways, crisscross travel, everything managed superbly. And there is a letter from ICC saying that 2011 World Cup was the best managed.
Well, but then, 2011 World Cup, a lot of things to talk about. In fact, the way Indian team was, on one side, we saw a young generation that is in the making, and probably the senior generation more of a farewell match for them. But when you're talking about these two generations coming together and still making sure that we have the second World Cup in our hands and we could dance on that, how do you think that, MS Dhoni as a captain managed this? The whole show probably, or probably that two generations that I'm talking about.
No, it was not only MS Dhoni, it was so many other players.
The support staff as well.
No, not support staff, the other players,
Okay.
The other players also contributed. Gautam Gambhir, the bowlers, they all contributed. Mahi came, took that decision to come. Yuvraj Singh, he was the man of the series.
Zahir Khan,
who
bowled a
Yes.
brilliant spell
Yes.
in that particular
So
campaign.
they all contributed. We had a great side. They all contributed.
Does the approach towards game changes with the seniority?
I mean, they use their experience,
Okay.
obviously. They use their experience, and Zahir used it extremely well,
Okay.
Mahi also had already won a World Cup, T20 World Cup. So he knew what is in store in the next 4 years.
Okay.
He was a brilliant player as a keeper and as a batsman. And everybody rallied around. The Gautam Gambhirs, Viru Sehwag, everybody, Sachin, they all rallied around, isn't it?
What was going in a tournament director's mind on that big day when the final was played between India and Sri Lanka? And uh, uh, were you also dancing after that? But
It wasn't the final, it was the first game of the season.
okay,
The moment the first ball was bowled, there was a hush in our minds. Chalo, everything is in order now, nothing to worry. We can tackle everything now. Final was difficult because I'll tell you, both the presidents came, Sri Lankan president as well as the Indian president. And there was a lot of entourage along with them.
Yeah.
So the MCA president's box was too tiny to accommodate everybody. And the protocols to follow was terrible. Terrible. We could not get a seat to sit, We were just standing and watching the game. And so many former cricketers came in the president's box.
So many celebrities,
so many
Bollywood actors,
everybody wanted to come
actresses.
in the president's box.
So how challenging it becomes because you need to reserve those tickets also for these guys.
We just, the innings went on.
Okay.
That much I can tell you. The innings went on.
So if there was a live match that was going on and the innings were played by Sri Lanka and India, he was playing a different innings at the background. The last stint that I want to ask you about is the 2013 Women's World Cup that happened in India. After facing all the challenges in 2011, I think you were very well prepared for 2013.
Yes, we were very well prepared. Batting a little bit squirmish to start with because the Pakistan women's team was also playing in Bombay. So, some people, agitated, some party agitated, and, they didn't want the Pakistan women's team to come to Bombay. So, we had to change the entire itinerary of the Pakistan team in the east.
Okay.
So, that was a great challenge.
Okay.
And those association, the Orissa Cricket Association were not prepared for this because right from hotel accommodation, ground availability, all these things were, changed.
Okay.
And they were not in tune with us to start with. So that's how, we prepared Orissa also in that fashion. And luckily, everything's happened. All slots were filled properly. All the boxes were tick marked. And it was successful.
Well, I think it was one of the most amazing podcasts that we enjoyed today. And right from the stories of cricket ground to the stories of, being with BCCI and, working on such beautiful campaigns that you have. One message that you would like to tell everyone, the way you've lived your life, what is that one message or that one motivating line that you can tell us that that makes the day for us?
Well, enjoy what you have in your hand. Don't go for 10 things. Enjoy what you have and be happy.
Well, that's a very important message, that be happy. And that's it of our podcast with Suru Nayak sir. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Suru Nayak
Dipesh.
sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.